Beyond the clouds and moons lies Wildspace, a sea without water, a sky without end. The stars burn cold in its silence, but they are not alone. Ships glide among them, not by sail or steam, but by thought, bound to helms carved from myth and magic. Each world is cradled in a shell of crystal, floating like a lantern in the dark. Between these spheres flows the phlogiston, a radiant current of flammable light, shifting like rivers between realms. This is not a single world, but the space between all worlds. Elven armadas drift in silver formation. Mind flayers pilot living nautiloids. Dwarves forge citadels that move like comets. Pirates carve kingdoms from asteroids. Merchants deal in secrets. Monsters rule in silence. Every voyage risks the unknown, and every map ends in mystery. Somewhere among it all, a living vessel the size of a city slips between shadows, seen by few, feared by all. This is Spelljammer, not a place, but a crossing. Not a path, but a promise. And the helm is waiting. No one remembers who built the first helm. The stars hold no record, and the gods offer no answer. Some claim it was the elves, highborn and reckless, who dared to bind arcane power to motion. Others whisper of Gith mages, born of the astral sea, who shaped psionics into propulsion and vanished into thought. A few insist the first helms were relics of forgotten gods, meant to ferry souls across the void. The truth was lost before maps were made. What remains are the wrecks. Drifting through Wildspace are ancient vessels, long abandoned and overgrown. Their hulls are carved from bone and crystal, their runes written in no living script. Some breathe with dormant energy, helms still faintly humming after centuries of silence. Others are hollow tombs, spiraling endlessly with no crew, no course, and no origin. Each wreck is a question, and none offer answers. The first spelljammers did not conquer, they disappeared. Some into black holes, others into the flow. A few were found years later, drifting on the edge of reality, hulls intact, but crews gone mad. Yet they proved a single truth: the void could be crossed. That knowledge was enough. The elves were the first to master it. They formed the Imperial Navy, casting silver armadas across Wildspace to guard their ancient order. The dwarves followed, forging citadels that moved like meteors, self-contained fortresses cast into the stars. Then came the Gith, the Neogi, the Mercanes, the pirates, the prophets. Each arrived believing they were the first. Each added to the chaos. And still, the stars remained unconquered. In the silence between the spheres, power drifts like dust, claimed by those bold enough to reach for it. Wildspace is no empty void. It is a frontier teeming with empires, armadas, merchants, and monsters, each carving a place into the great unknown. The oldest and most ordered among them are the Imperial Elven Navy. Their ships are silver-bladed and graceful, piloted by commanders who have watched stars shift for centuries. Once they waged a silent war against the creeping chaos of the Neogi, but now they patrol the spheres with cold vigilance, guarding what they still call balance. The Gith mercenary legions are not subtle. These hippo-headed warriors live for the boom of cannon fire and the honor of battle. Their ships roar through the void in formation, crewed by soldiers who recite codes of discipline between bouts of ale and explosions. No flag commands them, only contracts and cores. From the astral sea come the Githyanki raiders, psionic tyrants clad in silver and scarlet. They sail sleek skiffs or astral beasts, emerging from thin air to strike like thought-given blade. Every raid brings them closer to some deeper war, some long memory not yet faded. The Neogi slavers drift like spiders in their black ships, their hulls bristling with chained beasts and mind-bound thralls. They do not conquer with armies, but with whispers and poison. Each Neogi rules its ship like a god, and their Umber-Hulk enforcers speak only in obedience. Trade has its empire too. The Mercane consortiums, towering blue-skinned merchants, govern from floating citadels and impossible bazaars. They speak in contracts and clause work, their wealth drawn from every plane. To cross a Mercane is to vanish, quietly, legally, forever. Even the farthest edges of Wildspace teem with factions. The Hattersea Sky Sailors, ape-like and agile, leap between sails and stars with laughter and speed. The insectoid Three Kreen clans hunt in silence, their minds shared across chitin and distance. Autonome exploratories glide in squads of clockwork curiosity, seeking meaning in motion. The plasmoid colonies, ever shifting in shape and temperament, drift like living comets, curious and serene. And among the shadows, the Xerixian Empire grows. Led by Emperor Zeleth, its astral elf fleets draw power from dying stars, their sails laced with conquest. They do not negotiate, they illuminate, and what survives their light is no longer free. These are the voices of the void. Their alliances shift, their wars span years, but each one believes the stars belong to them, and they will fight to prove it. The void is not empty, it is sailed. From comet-throned citadels to ships carved like nightmares, the stars are crossed by vessels born of magic, myth, and madness. At the heart of it all is the spell-jamming helm. No sails, no steam, only will. A spellcaster merges with the helm, and thought becomes motion. Gravity obeys. Air clings. The ship becomes an extension of the pilot's mind, gliding through Wildspace and, with rare passageways, even the phlogiston. Some helms burn magic items for fuel. Others drain the life from the unwilling. But all share one truth. Without a helm, no ship sails. The most feared and fabled of all is the Spelljammer, a living vessel the size of a city, shaped like a manta ray and veiled in silence. It moves between spheres as if following secrets, spawning smaller ships in its wake. Its arrival changes the balance of power. Its departure leaves legends. Around it, countless vessels drift across the celestial sea. The elven man-o'-wars, elegant and sharp, glide with butterfly wings of wood and gold leaf. They form the spine of the Imperial Navy, patrolling with ancient discipline. In contrast, dwarven citadels are blunt instruments, floating fortresses shaped from stone and ore powered by forge fire and stubborn will. They tumble through the void like warhammers seeking a target. The neogi death spiders crawl with menace, twisted steel and sinew shaped into eight-legged horrors, crewed by slavers and guarded by enslaved umber hulks. From the deep thoughts of nightmare, the mind flayer nautiloids spiral, organic shells laced with psychic resonance, their tentacles drifting as if searching for minds to devour. Other ships are stranger still. The GIF ride in cannon-bristled gunships, designed less for elegance than overwhelming noise. Githyanki astral skiffs, swift and curved like blades, appear in sudden flashes, often accompanied by red dragons. Human captains, ever inventive, sail ships shaped like hammerheads, dragonflies or mosquitoes, each one cobbled with ambition and held together by luck. Among the stars, the unexpected becomes commonplace. Plasmoid vessels drift like bubbles with sails, reshaped daily by their crews. Autonomes cruise aboard tinkering platforms, buzzing with whirring limbs and pulsing lights. Three Kreen war canoes scuttle silently across gravity planes, while Hattersea gliders stretch out hammocks between sails and swing through rigging like stars were trees. But all must land. And for that, there is the Rock of Bral, a hollowed asteroid turned city-state, where pirates toast with diplomats and gods walk beside gamblers. It is ruled by a prince, fueled by secrets, and filled with enough stories to chart 1,000 voyages. Wildspace breeds myths. Some are monsters, others wear names. In the silence between stars, a single voice can shape the fate of spheres. High above the flow, in a treehouse clinging to a drifting rock, lives Topolah, the Wildspace witch. Eccentric and ever watchful, she peers through arcane lenses to chart the movement of empires and anomalies alike. Her warnings have saved systems, Her laughter has condemned ships. Few trust her, yet all seek her counsel. Commanding the Moondancer with swagger and grit, Captain Sartell is no stranger to danger. Once a pirate, now a privateer, she sails beneath no flag but her own. With a sharp tongue and a sharper blade, she's tangled with everything from neogi slavers to astral royalty, and lived to tell it. Behind her, in the shadow of lost glory, stands Commodore Crooks, a GIF veteran with a mind as sharp as his aim. Stripped of rank by bureaucrats and betrayal, he now fights a private war against tyrants and cosmic threats. His plans are bold, his loyalty unshakable, and his cane conceals more firepower than most ships. Neutral ground is rare in the stars, but Vokath the Mercane has carved it from fear and gold. A blue-skinned merchant lord with a taste for theater and cruelty, Vokath brokers deals between warring factions, entertains duels in his arena, and trades in secrets that would unmake kings. His smile is always the beginning of a trap. At the heart of imperial ambition, Emperor Zeleth of the Zarixian Empire rules with solar fire and poisoned law. His empire grows not through conquest, but consumption, planting astral seeds to drain worlds of life. Cold, regal and remorseless, he sees rebellion as a myth and mercy as a weakness. But rebellion lives in blood. Princess Zedali, Zeleth's sister, has seen too much. Trained in diplomacy but forged in loss, she dares to imagine an empire ruled by something other than terror. Some call her a traitor, others call her the last hope of a dying system. And beyond these known names, legends linger. Braxis, the ghost pirate who stole from gods and vanished into the flow. The unknowable one, worshipped by fringe cults as the mind behind the stars. They may be dead, they may never have lived, but in Wildspace, a name is never just a name. The void remembers, and some names never stop drifting. Wildspace is not a single place, but 1,000 skies stitched together by silence. Each star system lies sealed within a crystal sphere, a shell of divine glass that cradles its worlds in a breathless void. Within those spheres, gravity bends to magic, and ships glide between moons, planets, and comets. But beyond the shell's edge, something stranger waits. The phlogiston, or the flow, is a radiant sea of liquid color, iridescent, formless, and forever shifting. No fire can survive its embrace, yet it burns with hidden tides that ferry ships between spheres. Portals appear like mirages, then vanish. Here, sound is devoured, time stretches thin, and a single drift can last a lifetime, or a heartbeat. Above and beyond the spheres lies the astral sea, a silver expanse where the minds of gods wander and the dead drift untethered. Stars do not burn here, they shimmer with memory. Time does not pass, it echoes, and those who slip too deep may forget they ever lived. Among the known spheres, 3 shine brightest: Realmspace, home to Toril, where the tears of Saloon, a shattered ring of asteroids, serve as both sanctuary and ambush. Greyspace, the cradle of Earth, where ancient powers sleep behind locked moons and forgotten orbits. And Krinspace, bound to Kryn, where magic rises and falls with the gods, and celestial forces war as fiercely as those on the ground. Yet even in the vastness, a single rock can shape 1,000 stories. The Rock of Bral floats on the edge of reason, a free city carved into an asteroid, ruled by Prince Andrew, broker of truces and shadowy deals. Here, merchants trade in dragonbone and stardust, spies slip between taverns and star charts, and pirates hang their flags beside noble banners, each vying for a better view of the stars. Then there are the anomalies, the Witchlight Nebula, where illusion and madness reign and no star keeps its shape, the ruined outposts swallowed by the flow, the shards of lost spheres where dead gods left fingerprints and prophets whisper in vacuum. Between all of it sails the wild, the brave, the foolish. For the void is not empty, it is merely waiting. Wildspace is vast, but it is not empty. It hums with dread. Some dangers drift in plain sight, others wait in the dark, older than memory, patient as gravity. The most feared of all are the astral dreadnoughts, colossal, armor-plated beasts that prowl the astral sea, with eyes that kill magic and maws that end ships. When one appears, captains whisper their farewells. Most vanish before they scream. Below that nightmare, countless hunters stalk the stars, void scavers, shark-like and silent, trail vessels like carrion birds. The largest can crack hulls in half with a bite. The smallest swarm in clouds, stripping stranded ships to bone. Some horrors defy form. Cosmic horrors, born of the far realm, twist space and mind with every movement. Their flesh writhes with eyes and tendrils, and their presence drives crews to madness. No charts warn of them. They arrive unbidden, like a thought too dangerous to speak. And in the silence something watches. The Zodar, clad in obsidian armor, drift alone. They do not speak, except once. When they do, fate shifts. Kingdoms fall. Their origins are unknown. Their purpose, divine or damning. Not all terrors are silent. Space clowns, grotesque and painted, sail in haunted carnival ships, laughing through blood-streaked teeth. They do not kill with blade or spell, but with fear, twisted into psychic hunger. Some threats are bizarre, even absurd. Giant space hamsters, bred by gnome inventors, once turned engines with their endless running. But when freed or enraged, their strength rivals dragons. Few laugh once teeth are shown, even spells can turn. In the astral sea, raw magic can awaken. Living spells, flaming spheres with intent, lightning bolts that hunt, drift like ghosts through dead battlefields. They remember war. They hunger for more. Farther still, in the endless grey, lie the bodies of dead gods. Vast and crumbling, these divine corpses are the size of cities. Some are mined for relics, some are worshipped by the mad. All are cursed. Not all leviathans are cruel. Kindori, the space whales, swim in peace through Wildspace, singing to one another in vibrations only ships can feel. Gravity whales pull moons in their wake. Solar dragons slumber in suns, their golden wings folded around fusion hearts. But even beauty can kill, and even silence can scream. In the void, the stars do not speak, but the horrors do. Wildspace has no end, only new beginnings. Its stories are not written in ink, but in gravity wakes and glowing wreckage. If you've enjoyed this journey, like and subscribe to follow more legends beyond the stars. Beneath shattered moons and stormlit skies, the world of Eberron waits. Magic fuels its engines, sparks its rails, and shapes its cities. Here, arcane science rules, not mystery. The old gods are gone or silent, and faith is forged in steel and spell. In Eberron, the lines between hero and tyrant are always shifting. Magic builds, magic betrays, and something old is waking in the deep places of the world. Hold your breath. The age of airships and ash begins.